Are you ready? We have three beautiful moped style bikes in front of us. We got the Movcan V30, the TST R002, and the Amat S8. And in this video, we're gonna be doing a comparison between all three of these bikes. So I'm gonna share what I liked, what I loved, and everything else in between. So if you're ready to break them down, make sure to leave a comment below, like and subscribe for show, and I'm ready to go and show you what they do, my friends. Let's go. First point I wanted to touch on is price. So, least expensive, coming in at $679, is the TST R002. They got it in this orange. They also have it in black. And that is by far the most cost effective. Right next to it, the Movcan V30 is coming in at $699. And then we got the Amat, of course, dual motors on this. We're gonna get them working, but this is coming in at $999. So all of them are under $1,000. Just depends on your price point and how much you have to spend. Let's start it off with the power, and I'm going to talk about, yes, we can go over all the individual specs and all this, but I'm just gonna talk about the ride and the feel. So I did not unlock the TST R002. It was capping at 20 miles an hour. It was a lot of pedaling. I feel if you unlocked it, I saw people saying that they were getting a lot more power, a lot more speed. I feel you would have to unlock it in order to even have a passenger on the back at all. Otherwise, Next up for the power, and we're gonna talk about all these as if they were only rear hub, because even though this is dual motor, this is not working right now. So next up would be the Movcan V30. It was good. Took a little bit longer to get up to top speed compared to this, but you know, compared to the TST locked and capped at 20, this was doing like 25, 27-ish. So that was a little bit faster. And then this bad boy, I mean, dude, by far the most power, had me saying I was doing 40. I think I was doing 35, 36, 37, but the front motor's not working, so it was all rear hub. Amat S8 wins on the power for sure. It is a little bit more expensive, but if you want more power, definitely worth it. And then once I get the dual motor working for a couple $100 more for a dual motor, Next up, we're gonna do battery comparison, and we're gonna go off specs, and then, you know, I'll share a little bit about looks, because I think this one looks the best. But TST R002 coming in at the smallest, 48 volt, 15 amp hour. They have it in a 25 amp hour, but I got the 15 amp hour. Man, even pedaling, even having it locked, it was just killing the battery on the ride. Yes, I got lots of hills, but killing the battery. Then over here, the Movcan V30, 48 volt, 15.6 amp hour battery. It comes looking like the gas tank, and I don't know why it's, you know, I don't think it's the 0.6, it's probably the quality of the battery, but same thing, I'm riding through hills. This ate up less battery, and these are like about the exact same size batteries, but this one, I had more range on the battery than this for sure. And the winner, S8, 48 volt, 25 amp hour battery. Yes, it is a little bit more expensive, but I mean, dude, I went on the longest ride on this bike and still had the most battery compared to these two bikes. So obviously the bigger battery makes a difference. All three bikes have hydraulic disc brakes. This bad boy, the Movcan V30 and the Amat S8, 160 millimeter rotors. And then the TST coming in with upside down, but 180 millimeter hydraulic disc brakes. The Movcan V30 has Logan hydraulic disc brakes. The TST R002 has Core-Ride hydraulic disc brakes. And the Amat S8 has Camaros. I feel that these were a little bit nicer overall than this one and this one. Let's talk about the front suspension on all the bikes. So we got two that are hydraulic, and one is an air shock or a spring shock probably. So one of them obviously is not as good as the other ones. And you guessed it, hydraulic, air or spring. And then in the back of the Movcan V30, little monoshock back there tucked away. I think that's probably like 500 pounds, because it looks to be about the same size. No, This monoshock might be a little bit smaller than, nah. All right, I feel this monoshock, about the exact same size. And then the S8 does have dual monoshocks, bam, right there. Bam, right there. And they are definitely bigger and beefier than this one. The coils are a little bit thicker, but this is definitely bigger. At the end of the day, they were smooth rides. I wouldn't necessarily take any of these on some crazy trails, but obviously hydraulic front suspension is gonna be more comfortable, as well as 2 monoshocks in the back compared to 1 on the TST or the Movcan. Obviously, it's gonna be a little bit more comfortable. Yes, price point higher again, but you get what you pay for, right? Next is the pegs. So all the bikes had a place for a back rider, right? So that's where the pegs would attach on the Movcan. And on the TST, it was interesting. The pegs are a little bit different. You could put them right here, but you could also move them up or down. So you could adjust where they're at, which is kind of nice. None of the other bikes can do that, but at the end of the day, you probably aren't gonna have a super small rider. Like, look at where that seat is, right? The S8 came with the pegs already on and installed. Boom, right there, ready to go. And if you take a look at these seats, look, boom. So yes, a rider could ride on the back. Boom, yes, a rider could ride on the back. Look how small this seat is. And then look at the hump. That hump, that hump, that hump. That's not gonna be comfortable to ride on. I mean, you'd have to have a tiny rider on the back to actually utilize the pegs on the Movcan V30. Which kind of brings me into the next point, which is being able to actually ride with a passenger. So, S8, off top. I only had 1 motor. With the dual motor, no problem riding with a passenger. I'd say 300 pounds, you're gonna be good. If you unlock the TST, potentially you could ride with another passenger with how the seat is positioned, but I would say it obviously has less power. You're going to want a smaller rear rider. Movcan V30, I wouldn't even put anybody on the back. Whoever is on the back, it's probably not gonna be a comfortable ride. And again, just with the power overall, unless, okay, these 2 bikes right here, Movcan and TST, you better be on flat ground, no hills. And you better have the dual motor for the S8 if you're gonna do any hill at all with somebody on the back. One of the last things I wanna go over is like the overall design of each bike, I guess you could say. I love a brown rib seat. If you're not riding with anybody, I like this better than any of the seats. If you're riding with a passenger, this is probably going to be the most comfortable for anybody riding. All the headlights, very similar. All the tires, very similar. Couple of rims, and then, you know, spokes. At the end of the day, spokes are definitely easier to change. You shouldn't be cracking this rim unless you're doing something crazy, but if you do, you gotta get a whole new rim, right? This is like super thin right here. Like, I don't know. It's very, very thin compared to like, this is, you know, solid circle. You know, this is solid circle. Like, I guess that, I mean, I don't know. I don't know exactly how sturdy this would be compared to something like this. Maybe it also comes down to the welds. I mean, it looks nice right there where it's connecting. Look at those welds. Well, these welds are nice too. All the welds are pretty good. Everybody's getting good at that. Screens, I mean, pretty much, I'd say all very similar. One isn't, you know, huge compared to the others. I will say it was kind of weird. Okay, putting on these handlebars, like, dude, look how close that was. Oh my God, it was like a challenge a little bit to get that on. These are raised super high. So if you're taller, this would be better. If you're shorter, this is the best one. And this one right here is in the middle. But these handlebars were easier to put on, but this stem like came flipped upside down. So I was like, what the hell at first? So you just have to take it off, flip it upside, you know, flip it right side up. So it's angled. I'd say like comfortability of the seats. Maybe that one's a little bit squishier than this one. It's a little bit harder. A little bit firmer. I mean, a little bit firmer, a little bit softer. Let's see. And that one again, that's like right in the middle. Huh? Yeah, this is the softest seat. This seat's the hardest seat. This seat is in the middle of these 3 bikes for sure. All right, guys, so basically at the end of the day, what this really comes down to is how much budget you have to spend on the bike, right? Because obviously if you have $1,000, you're gonna go with more power, more battery, you know, more torque, over here. But if you don't, and you're at that $700 price point, out of these 2 bikes, I did not unlock either one of them. Okay, so there was just like for the Movcan, some of the settings looked absolutely crazy, and I didn't want to mess up the bike. For the TST, it looked a little bit easier. I just wanted to keep it in the legal mode for the video and everything that I was doing. But I almost feel the TST would be a little bit better unlocked. So, you know, at the end of the day, the Movcan's hitting 25, 28 out the box, but TST, people are saying that they're hitting 32. If you're at this lower price point, then you're looking at these two bikes. If you have $1,000, you're obviously over here, no problemo. Probably even have coupon codes for these bikes as well. So, and I mean, I just like the orange a little bit better than the black. I feel the frame is a little bit better. Batteries are about the same. That battery looks cooler. This bike is also better for riding with somebody else on the back. So for all those things, I'd say TST over the Movcan. Just my personal preference. All these bikes are great options. They're all under $1,000. So if you're looking for any of them, I'll make sure I have a link below so that you guys can click that. I'll try and get a coupon code as well. And until our next adventure, who knows, you know, what amazing bikes we're going to be looking at, where we're going to be riding, who we're going to be riding with, but we're going to be living our blessed lives, people. Stay blessed and highly favored. This is Master Michael.